Hi, Ethan. Hi, Ari. Last week, I talked about daylight savings time and why I think it contributes to my seasonal depression. I mentioned to mom and dad that I was planning on making this video, and they asked if it was going to be a sad video. And I said, no, this is not going to be a sad video. This is a happy video about seasonal depression. In the past, I have experienced seasonal depression, and I've built up systems that can help me to prevent it from happening in the future. And this is me talking about why I think I've had seasonal depression and the systems that I use to prevent it. Just before the end of daylight savings time, the sun would set at about 5:30 p.m., so I would usually drive home while it was still sunny outside. But after daylight savings time, the sun sets at 4:30, so now I drive home in the dark. This means I have very little time in the sun each day. And I need to drive in the dark, which I find to be twice as soul-sucking as normal commuting. I think the biggest contributing factor to my seasonal depression is the lack of daylight. My brain basically says to my body, oh, it's dark outside. Let me make a bunch of melatonin so you can sleep more and save energy. It makes it difficult for me to get stuff done because I'm tired all day.
Also, Ethan thinks I have low cortisol levels.
Cortisol is the hormone that regulates stress, sleep, and metabolism. Me having low cortisol would explain why I have relatively low stress, which is really nice. But it would also explain my low metabolism and frequent fatigue, especially during the winter. My first winter in Boston was particularly bad. I didn't have any regular social engagements, and I was living farther away from friends than I had ever lived before. I spent a lot of nights at home, and I had some weekends where I had things that I wanted to get done, but I couldn't get myself to do them. Towards the end of the winter, I started building some new habits that really helped.
I would like to thank Kyra for helping me build these habits.
Habit 1 is vitamins. I take a daily multivitamin and vitamin D supplement. My previous PCP said he would recommend a vitamin D supplement for all people living in Massachusetts during the winter. I take mine each morning with peanuts, so I have food in my stomach to better help absorb the vitamins. I also drink water because dry swallowing pills can cause them to get stuck in your throat and lead to acid reflux. Habit 2 is my daylight lamp. I usually use it for 15 minutes each morning. It's very bright, so I don't look at it directly. I tend to use it while I'm working at my computer so that I'm sitting in one place. Habit 3 is my lunchtime walk. I try to go for a 5 to 10 minute walk each day after lunch so that I get some minimum level of exercise and daylight. During my walk at work, I've been seeing some strange structures. Structure A is a salt shed. Previously, it was empty, but it now has a large pile of a gravelly white substance. Kyra asked me to taste it to know if it was salt, but I don't want to do that. Structure B is this collection of construction equipment behind my place of work. I see no reason why my business would need this large construction equipment, but maybe it's owned by a business near ours or the company who owns our property. I always like to gawk at how big and powerful construction equipment is. I think about how far humanity has come. Structure C is this fence full of old pieces of foam. This one baffles me the most. Who's putting this foam here? Is this fence here just to contain the foam? If not, is the foam disrupting whatever it's on top of? Is there not a better way to dispose of this foam? I don't think I would like the answer to any of these questions. Habit 4 is working out. I've started going to this locally owned gym a couple mornings each week. They have small weightlifting classes that I have been really liking. I think I'm going to keep going. Habit 5 is regular socialization. By regular, I don't just mean frequent, but also scheduled. When I first started using this system, I would have weekly dinners with friends. Now, I'm going to weekly Magic the Gathering nights, and I have weekly role-playing game shindigs.
Sheesh, I'm a nerd. I need to get back on the weekly dinners when I start living closer to friends again.
Habit 6 is new, and it's one that I've been avoiding for a while. Coffee. I think of coffee as signing a deal with the attention devil. When Dad had to get surgery and couldn't drink coffee for a couple of weeks, he felt miserable, and I thought to myself, I can avoid this by never drinking caffeine. Also, I don't like that coffee is farmed outside of the US in countries with horrible labor laws. But coffee can help me to stay productive at work and feel good about myself at the end of the day. I look down at the dark liquid in front of myself and force myself to drink it against my better judgment. I sometimes hold it in my mouth for a second before I swallow, bracing. I don't know why I'm so dramatic about it. I don't think about it being dramatic in the moment, and I actually quite like the taste of black coffee. And drinking it makes me feel normal?
I know that this means that I maybe have ADHD.
I achieve a mental clarity that helps me to stay productive for long stretches of time that would be difficult without coffee. I know that these observations are like, yeah, duh, that's what coffee's for. But it's all very novel to me. I do think that drinking coffee is helping me with my seasonal depression, but it's difficult to say. Recently, I watched a Vlogbrothers video titled John's Annual Psychophysical Decline. In it, he talks about his seasonal depression.
Wow, not only am I copying his style, but I'm also incidentally copying his video ideas. Maybe it's because we have the same birthday? Maybe astrology is real.
A comment on his video said, "Every year, I think I'm going crazy, and every year, I realize it's just November. Lately, I've been going to sleep for an hour from 7 to 8-ish, because I get so tired in the evenings, and it's nice to know that I'm not the only one. If you're having trouble getting things done this winter or another winter in the future, know that seasonal depression can be helped by building good habits, and, like all things in life, it's only temporary." Bye, Ari. Bye, Ethan. That's all for this week. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. And if you didn't, blame my brothers.
Yeah,
You could probably hear it, it just doesn't sound like it is.
bye.